Hello and welcome to Penguin TV. It is recorded by George Ephelis, aka Whiffy Penguin, and you can follow me on Twitter at Whiffy Penguin. Penguin TV is hosted by PureMTGO.com and sponsored by MTGOTraders.com. Get an 8% discount off all orders over $50 when paying with PayPal or credit card. And you can check out KeepYourGames.com and get an extra 20% off when trading paper for digital. Enjoy the videos. And here we are in round 4, the finals, if you were, as 3-0, going into round 4 is the finals. And we are up against Murky Bong? Not sure. But he is running with Affinity. It is MTGO Ban. So he's running with Affinity, and our opening hand is double Force of Will, double blue creature, and land. And even though we can't really interact with his creatures, we do have double Force of Will to stop his busted play. So he goes turn 1 Genesis Chamber, and we Force of Will that, pitching Meddling Mage. Memnite. Man, he would have had 4 power on turn 1 if we hadn't gotten rid of that. Here we draw a Stifle, which is perfect Force of Will fodder. He attacks us to 2, and we Force of Will to steal Overseer. Go and fetch out a land, and we draw a land. So we're going to hope that a turn 3 Trigon Predator actually does something. And he makes an Arcbound Ravager here, which is pretty tough. Kind of explodes a little bit, Mox Opal, Signal Pest. So we go and lay out our Trigon Predator. And looking at the board state, it looks like I've lost. If I block a creature, he can pump up the creature and kill my Trigon. If I don't block a creature, the next attack will kill me with Ravager. So I decide to block the one that pumps up the most and block the Signal Pest when he attacks. Here he names Engineered Explosives. Not in my deck, not going to do anything. In the next game, he names Qasali Pride Mage, which is the right choice. So he attacks with all of his Duders. And I decide to block the Signal Pest. And he makes a pretty fatal mistake here. He goes to beef up the Signal Pest, and I don't know if he saw the 2-1 and thought that Ravager had 2 counters on it or not. But he only sacrifices 2 artifacts to the Ravager. And then sacrifices the Ravager to put onto the Signal Pest, making it a 2-3. I get pretty low in life, but on my turn, I play the Wasteland, blow up his Tomb, play the second Predator, and blow up his Signal Pest. And from here, it's pretty far downhill. He can't attack me, and he actually just scoops him up. So, for our sideboard, we put in the Predator, the Nature's Claim, the 4 Katakis, and the Serenity. We took out the Meddling Mage, and we took out the Spell Pierce, and we actually took out 2 Force of Will. And the reason we took out the 2 Force of Will is because we can't 2-for-1 ourselves against this deck and hope to come out ahead. We've got a lot of destruction coming in, and Force of Wills, especially with the very low amount of blue cards, just aren't going to do it for us. Going into game 2, Mirakibar is on the play. And we keep a hand of turn 2 Kentucky's War's Wage. We get the Swords to Plowshare something and then play Kentucky, and that seems awesome. So on turn 1, he has a pretty tame play of just Steel Overseer Memnite. And I can't Swords to Plowshares that Steel Overseer fast enough. He attacks and then plays a Revoker naming Quasali Pride Mage. And a Frogmite. So here we lay out the Kentucky, and he's got to get rid of something. And he decides to pay 2 life for the Revoker and the Frogmite. Thank goodness Mishra's Workshop can only cast artifact spells, and that's it. So he attacks, and we take it. And then he plays an Ensnaring Bridge. Here we play out a Dark Confidant, and we use it to block his Phyrexian Revoker. We cannot cast our Quasali Pride Mage yet, but we're going to need it to get rid of the bridge. And he's happy just paying life to keep his cards around, so I'm happy with that too. Plays out a Steel Overseer, and we draw the land we need for Trigon Predator. So now the idea is that we're going to take the damage, play a Pride Mage, blow up the bridge, and attack and kill something. He pays all of his available mana into his guys. We don't block, and he doesn't pump it. And then he plays out a Mana Vault. So I draw Kentucky's War's Wage, and now my thought process is, I'll play the Pride Mage, blow up the bridge, attack, and I believe I kill the Steel Overseer. And then my thought is that I'll chump block the Frogmite with Kentucky, and then lay a new one on my next turn. Trigon comes in, I smack the Overseer. He makes his Mishra's Factory get big, and his Frogmite. So he pays another 2 life, and he's getting really low in life here. And then attacks me with his team. I chump block, drop to 3, and he plays out another guy. So here I make Kentucky, and I kill his 3/3 Frogmite. My thought process here is that he's going to pay 2 life for Frogmite, and then activate Mishra's Workshop, or Mishra's Factory. And I'm going to stifle the factory activation. He does not, however, do that. He just pays 1 for the Frogmite, and I take it. Play a Wasteland, blow up his factory, attack him and get rid of his Frogmite, and now he's pretty much locked out of the game. And he kills himself. So that was the event with the 4-color fish update. Seems like a pretty good deck for the metagame, I'm not going to lie. I just played against 3 Oath decks and an Affinity deck, which is pretty much the metagame. And although I didn't crush, I did come out on top. If you're going to try and play this deck, I would recommend a lot of practice in the TP room. It is a lot, it's not overtly powerful. If you make a play mistake with this deck, it's going to kick you in the ass. As opposed to like Oath of Druids or Dredge, where you can mistime things, misplay lands, what have you, and still just own the game. This deck is very unforgiving for play mistakes, so I would definitely practice, but I think it's a really good deck for the remaining Celebration queues, or even the championships itself. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.